Welcome to Getting Sports with Drunk. I'm your hostess, Cupcake the Riddler, and I'm joined by
J-Mart,
Mock,
Sheen Washable,
Kendall,
Solzy,
and we're here to get drunk. On today's edition, we abandoned the craft beer idea, and we went with a domestic classic.
pretty much the polar opposite.
Kendall Reed, would you like to introduce today's beer that everybody will be drinking?
you know, I've waited for this moment for a very long time. We are drinking Miller's High Life.
It is the champagne of beers.
It is.
And before we crack our beers, we do our toast to excellence as always.
Some people jump the gun.
Jeff, today's toast of excellence goes to...
It goes to James Harden, who just signed one of the most lucrative contracts in NBA history.
He's making over $400,000 a game, is that correct?
That's correct.
For like the next, 6-ish years?
A beard, too.
Him leaving Oklahoma, good for James Harden. A toast to James Harden.
Worked out for him.
You couldn't hear it, but it sounded fantastic.
I think we got some of
Yeah,
it there.
I actually stripped the cap on mine, so I can't get it off.
Yeah.
But we have some shot trivia to be had. Now, Kendall, I believe you were the shot giver last time, correct?
That is correct.
And if my memory serves me correctly, which I hope it doesn't, I'm due for a shot.
You are due for a shot, yes.
On the, the pick sixes by Tom Brady, right?
That is correct,
That's right. You
yes.
said that he threw 12?
12 in his career thus far.
Yeah, well, I guessed a 2. I should have won. It's a hack. So I'm here with the ever so popular Getting Sports with Drunk Snifter, and it looks like there's some residue in here of food. So I'm going to go ahead and throw this down. If I vomit, I promise to do it on the microphone for you.
Look at that. Seamless. Seamless it was. What do we think?
He does
There's
not like
so
it.
many chunks in there. I don't...
So there is
Did
an
you
outside...
A non-liquor...
I did.
Is it garlic powder?
No, it is not. It is not. It is something I was very intrigued by.
I'm struggling a little bit.
What about the liquors? I mean, you got
It's definitely bourbon, obviously. But it tastes like it could be Eagle Rare bourbon.
No.
Go ahead, tell me what you got.
So, there was some Crown Royal. There's some honey in there. It was very difficult to get the cap off. Then there was some. I forgot. There was VO in there as well.
Great.
And on top of the fridge there, it's escaping me. It is.
Well, you've ruined this. How do you forget what it is?
Well, because I was more interested about the crumbs that were in there. That's why.
Are you talking about the Miller High Life popcorn?
No, you have some cereal in your cupboard. It was like some type of like chocolate chip something or other. So I crushed up one of the...
This was supposed to be a family-friendly show where we didn't mix outside
Oh, you know what?
components.
It was the Remy Martin. The Remy Martin, the clear Remy Martin. I don't know what it is.
Oh, no.
Yikes.
But that's what it was. That was the third item.
And then you put food in there.
I did because I saw it. I was like, that's gross.
I really hope that you get this one wrong. Well, for my shot trivia, much to the dismay of the topic of the show, it is not NHL related, but the fact is, and this one's dedicated to Jeff Martin. So, gentlemen,
Listening.
in the NHL, what is the record held by Randy Holt for most penalty minutes in a game?
Ooh. Easy. 35.
35 by Jeff Martin?
34.
Oof. Price is Right rules. I like that.
Let's go 29.
29?
27 minutes.
27. And the loser, Kyle Souls, Randy Holt, in his NHL debut, or not debut, but in his NHL career, in a full 60-minute game with no overtime, posted an NHL record 67 penalty minutes.
My goodness.
Yeah.
I aspire to be like him one day.
Yeah, he was fighting penalties. It's always rounded, but he'd come out of the box and he would fight somebody else and go right back in the box. And in his last time, he came out, got a roughing penalty because somebody didn't want to fight him, and then he ended up fighting somebody else and served 7 minutes with 1 second to go. But as in the NHL, it's not 1 second. You still get the full 7 minutes. So he served 67 minutes of penalty time.
Who did he play for?
He played for the Kings. I know the viewers can't. We'll have to post this picture with the show. He's a real gentleman. I think Jeff's going to get a big kick out of what this guy looks like.
I wish they would make him sit in there for those 7 minutes after the game ended.
Zamboni's going by, he's waving to him, he's trying to fight him.
There's teams that head coaches in the past, for disciplinary reasons or things, like after wins and losses, there was head coaches, I can't remember any of the names off the top of my head, but I know there was one for the Avalanche, where if you, all the penalty minutes you acquired after a game, you would sit in the penalty box by yourself while the team was celebrating the win.
That'd be so funny.
Not for the person in the box.
Oh, no.
Well, I apologize for ruining the non-alcohol version of the gross shot. I couldn't pass up on whatever.
Yeah, well, you should have.
Well, that just means you'll have to get me next time.
Well, I can't. I got to get Kyle. Well, Kyle, are you excited for a gross shot next time?
It is what it is.
I promise it won't be juicy, baby.
Hey, as long as it gets me high, that's all I care about.
I like that.
No, is this a cannabis reference or a High Life reference?
High Life.
Oh, okay.
See, he was thinking about before the show, like, what am I going to say about the spirit? You know what?
There
you got it.
That's not even what I got, dude.
Stay tuned for the next Soulsy t-shirt quote. Today's edition, you see tons of other sports type things do this, articles, whatever the type of deal. The way too early NFL division winners predictions.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah. If we were drinking a different beer right now, you know what it would be? Bush.
Can we get a synced up one for the listeners?
Oh, we can do that. No problem.
Paul's going to count us down?
Yeah, of course. We could do that. No problem.
Bush. Headphone warning.
Not sponsored.
That was beautiful.
Yeah.
They should be a sponsor.
So I think, hopefully there's some debate in this, because if anybody's going to tell you you're wrong, it's Soulsy.
Kyle.
So we'll go around. We'll go division by division. Winners of the division. Who you think's going to win it? And, some reasonings, whatever. Hopefully there's some arguing. It's a little tough this early in the stage, but we'll see what happens. Maxine Washable, lead us off with the NFC West.
The NFC West. I have the Seattle Seahawks winning that division this year.
Why?
The Rams aren't there yet. The 49ers are a mess. The Cardinals could make a rush, but I think the Seattle Seahawks will take the division again.
Souls?
I, too, am going to pick Seattle. They're the only complete team in that division.
They're completely awful. That's biased, but screw them.
Well, I have the Cardinals returning to form and taking that division.
Excellent.
I'm just going to throw this out there. I have the Rams taking it. I'm shocking a lot of people.
What's the reason?
Reason? No more Jeff Fisher?
Oh, well.
No, that's not. I don't know.
That's a terrible reason. He's the reason they should win the division.
I think it's a weaker division. I think the Rams have some pieces. I don't think it's... it's early. It probably won't happen, but I'm going to say the Rams. We'll see.
Right.
I like the bold prediction, but I'm saying Cardinals as well as Reed. Better running back.
That is true.
Better receiving core. Here's the thing. The Seahawks receiving core they're not good. I don't care what anybody says. They make it work. And I understand that. And I'm never going to dispute that. They make it work. And that's what it takes to win the championship. But they're not good.
Baldwin's good.
He's okay.
Baldwin's good.
It's more in the fact that Seattle's defense is better than all three other teams.
Seattle's defense is really good. And they have the same reason. When Michael Vick was playing in his prime, his receiving core wasn't the most star-studded receiving core ever. But when you have a quarterback that can literally run anywhere, people get open. People panic.
True.
But I think I agree with Kendall. I think the Cardinals return to form. I think Fitzgerald continues to show ageless progression. And David Johnson. David Johnson
is the best back in the league.
He's the only player in that division that Seattle's defense can't game plan against. The only reason I can agree with Jeff, if I had to agree with somebody, is just because the Seattle can't beat St. Louis, and I think the Cardinals and the 49ers, that division is always
Los Angeles.
weird. That's right. Sorry, the Los Angeles Rams. That's not true. That's not really happening. It's all a dream.
Paul once again killing it with the literal Hey, come on now. The ageless progression. What a great thing to say. What a great,
You're welcome.
it just kills me. It's so good.
Yeah, well, I won that title in high school, Ageless Progression Award. So, Solzy, why don't you take us a little further east with the NFC North?
I think Green Bay is going to take it. Aaron Rodgers is too good. No other team can stop him. Bears are far away. The Lions don't have the talent. Green Bay is just going to probably be 12-4.
Mock?
I agree. I don't see anyone in that division taking it from the Packers. If anyone's going to do it, it'll be the Lions, but I don't think it'll happen.
I have Green Bay as well, just because no other team is ready at this point. That's my feelings.
Jeff Martin?
I too have Green Bay. That's it.
I plead the
I
fifth
don't
on
even
this
look
one.
at the other teams.
I was going to say, I didn't think Paul was going to weigh in on this one.
No. I do have to weigh in, and there is bias involved, but not too much bias because I hate every team in that division that's not Chicago. But I think the Lions do it. Green Bay is a dumpster fire on defense. Their defense is terrible. I don't care what their offense does. Their defense is absolutely atrocious. Tom Brady has been phenomenal throughout his career, but with every season that has come and gone, he's had a defense that's been able to play. Maybe not up to the par of the 2004 Patriots, but this defense last year was good. I mean, they got stomped a little in the beginning of the Super Bowl, but they played well when it counted. And, the 2007 defense was pretty good, even though they lost the championship.
Oh, they did.
But the Lions are the only team in that division that completely exploit the Packers defense. And Aaron Rodgers is phenomenal. There's no argument there. And he's got a fantastic tight end. But the run game is terrible. You watch. Matt Stafford is going to go 12-4 and beat the 11-5 Packers and then lose in the wild card game. Souls.
Paul.
NFC South.
I'm going to go with Tampa Bay. To me, the offseason pickups of Deshaun Jackson and the draft pick of O.J. Howard really going to complete that offense. And the defense is going to get better. They're young, they're talented, they're fast. I just think they're going to finally step up and defeat the Falcons and the Panthers.
Reed?
I think the Saints return to form for another round. Breeze is kind of, he's aged, but I like the addition of Adrian Peterson. I think they can get it done one more time. Whether they advance deep in the playoffs, that's a little too early to say, but I think they win the division.
For me, I think the Panthers are going to come back this year. This division, I think, is going to be very tight. I think all four teams will have winning records, but I think the Panthers are going to return to their Super Bowl form and take the division.
Here it comes.
Saints take it. No bias whatsoever.
You really think the Saints take it?
I do.
Are you just saying that because you can't root against them?
No.
All right.
My reasoning, I don't see Cam Newton as this elite quarterback that everyone makes him out to be. And we all saw what the Falcons did. They're going to have to rebound from a massive choke. Now, I think they're the strong. Admittedly, I think the Falcons are the strongest team in that division. But they're looking at a pretty uphill battle right now.
I agree with Kyle. I say Tampa. The Falcons, I called it first. Reed can be my witness on this. When the Falcons went on this big claim to fame run a couple years ago and won the division and were the team to beat in the NFC and then lost in the playoffs, I said, and Kendall can quote it, they're going to have a losing record next year and they're going to miss the playoffs. And that's exactly what happened. I think the Falcons repeat that trend. I think they're a very streaky team. They have a very strong upside defense and the best wide receiver in the NFL, but I think they have a very overrated running back, a quarterback that's streaky at best, and I think Tampa Bay does it.
It's interesting. None of us picked the Panthers.
I think the Panthers...
Garbage.
I picked them.
Well, you know what?
You
I
don't
wasn't paying
count.
attention because you're garbage. I'm just joking. I missed it. I apologize.
Well, I didn't do this for Jeff, so I won't do it for Mock. Kendall, NFC East.
Well, you know what? It's the Dallas Cowboys, the Big D. I'm sorry, Mock. I know, you're a Giants fan, but I think they're the most road-ready team right now, and I think they're going to win the division.
Fair enough. For me, again, another biased pick, but I think the Giants are going to take the division. I think the Giants are going to battle the Cowboys for it, and it's going to be a late in the season fight for the division. I think Prescott regresses this year, and the Giants got better. So I see them going at least 12-4, and that should be able to take that division.
That ship's sailing. Get off the boat. Cowboys
Terrible
are taking
joke.
it.
That ship's sailing.
I think they're just going to get better. I really do. Elliott's insane. And now, like, I somewhat like the Giants. A lot of my family like the Giants personally, and I know I'm going to get a lot of shit for this. But Cowboys fans kind of suck sometimes. But I this is the one time they can talk it all up because they've got a great team moving forward if they could all stop getting arrested.
There's no defense.
Here's the thing. This is going to be the most interesting division to watch.
It is.
For sure.
And the reason I say that is because I don't think anybody in that division gets 12 wins.
Really?
Here's the thing. The Giants got better, but they only got better in the spots that they were already good. They didn't get better in any of their weaknesses. Their run game is terrible. Their run blocking is still atrocious. They addressed kind of the tight end thing, but I don't know. I think that we need to look at the fact that, and I know Kyle's going to touch on this, Terrell Pryor is a humongous addition to that team, whether people don't see it or not. But he's a huge addition to that Redskins team. The Cowboys, they lost offense or defense, we understand that, but their defense is still young and hungry. And like I said, the Giants only improved in the spots where they were already better than their opponents. They didn't improve in any other weaknesses, which is only going to flaunt weaknesses more. I personally think when it's all said and done, I think the Cowboys take it with an 11-5 record, and I think the Giants and the Redskins are on their heels at 10-6.
Fair enough. The Giants have a lot of on the line games that could go really either way. So, Kyle,
To me, in this division, one team can pair with the Giants' offense, and that's Washington.
ooh wee.
Well, I think our own producer Kendall Reed can do the Kirk Cousins ooey the best.
yeah.
What's your-
I'm going to step away from the microphone, but I really like this is my time to shine.
Oh, give us the best ooey you got, the best Kirk Cousins that you can do.
Ridley, would you mind kind of setting the same scene for me, like as a news guy when I'm coming out of the field?
I don't remember what the news guy
Well,
said. but
just fake it,
All right,
fake it.
So, Kendall Reed, you just threw 4 touchdowns and no picks. What do you have to say about that? Excellent. So, Kyle, back to what you were saying.
Like you touched on before, Terrell Pryor is going to be a way bigger pickup than everyone realizes for that team. And two, their defense is very underrated. Josh Norman can cover Odell with no problems. Rashard Breeland is going to be better this year. They picked up Jonathan Allen, which is a run stopper, which the Giants don't have a running back. So he's just going to open up lane for the linebackers to go after the quarterback, which the Giants also have no offensive line. I think Washington all around is the best team, offense and defensively. I just really think the Eagles still are very young. The Giants have a lot of problems in big situations, and Dallas, like you said, Mock, doesn't have a defense.
See, I tell you, I'm the team that scares me the most. I mean, Dallas. We all saw what Dallas did last year. The Redskins are going to be. Everyone's sleeping on Philly. Philly had a pretty good offseason.
Philly had a pretty good offseason, but
They never
Souls and I have talked about this. Whether it's to get Wentz to throw the ball deep more or whatever the case might be, but they filled a lot of the receiving core gaps this offseason, but they filled them with people that go down the field and catch the ball 40-plus yards down the field. And when you have a quarterback that doesn't throw it more than 20 yards, kind of like Dak Prescott, it's kind of hard to utilize those weapons. I mean, Alshon Jeffrey is a very good, talented receiver. Nobody knows that better than me. But he's not the Brandon Marshall, the Dez Bryant receiver. He's not the possession receiver. He's a vertical threat with big hands that can literally body anybody. In my opinion, he's the most exciting receiver to watch now in the NFC East. I mean, Odell Beckham Jr., we know what he brings to the table, but we know exactly what we're going to get 2 times a year when we watch him and Norman line up against each other. We don't know what we're going to see when Norman and Jeffrey line up on the same side against one another.
Good point.
And
Torrey Smith's pretty much useless from 20 yards in. He can only catch a deep ball.
They got Jordan Matthews though, in the slot.
But their defense isn't there. That's the
Defense
other
isn't
part.
bad.
And
That's
you don't know
what
what
Their defense
Carson's
isn't
going to do.
right. Their defense isn't bad, and that's why I give the knock to Dallas because their defense isn't what it was last year.
No, it's not.
But the majority of it still had played together this whole time and produced, and they played with the Claibornes and all these types of the Church, all those types of players. They know what it takes, and they were mentored by people in the program, and now they're in a program. Philadelphia's defenders, they don't really have that. It's going to be interesting to real quick around the table before we have to wrap this up. Who's your big heartbreaker team for the NFC this season? Who's the team that you think is going to, make serious headway, make the playoffs, but when it's all said and done, they really don't have a shot?
For me, it's Tampa Bay. I think Tampa's going to get in on a wild card, but they're still very young, and I think they'll end up losing in the wild card round. But going forward, say either next year or the year after, they're going to end up being a dominant team.
Mark, I'm sorry. I think the Giants make the playoffs. I think they make the wild card, but I think they're one and done. I'm sorry.
No, you're not.
I have no reason to dislike the Giants. I think they're a great team.
No one apologizes when they pick Tampa, but you're going to sit here and sugarcoat your Giants.
I picked the Saints to win the division.
Not the
Why don't you watch the tape? Listen to the tape. They have no
We've
video.
already touched on this before, but I think Detroit's that team. They can never get it done in the playoffs.
Yeah, that's true. They're
They're very good.
they're America's heartbreak. They're just a more successful Cleveland.
Always fun to watch on Thanksgiving, though.
Oh, yeah. Not. What do you got, J Mart?
I see the Falcons being the big heartbreak. I think they do it. They have a great team. They should, as a Saints fan, they should win that division. I think they do, and I don't think they make it anywhere close to where they were last year.
I think J Mart left out. They also have the best owner in the NFL.
That's not true. And I'm so happy that he had to cry himself to sleep every night since then. I shop at Lowe's.
I'm not sorry. I agree with Kendall. I just don't see the Giants. They don't have they don't have the protection, and they don't have the running game to propel themselves from the first round of even if they win the division with a bye. I don't think they have what it takes to propel themselves to the NFC Championship game / Super Bowl, because you don't need, like Tom Brady has shown time saying, he doesn't need star-studded running backs, but you do need someone that can alleviate some pressure. If the Giants average more than 50 yards a game on the ground this year, I think that's a humongous improvement, and every Giants fan should just be excited. They should re-sign that guy. Whoever does it, they should just re-sign him.
Absolutely.
But
I think if whoever's running the ball for the Giants can average 55 to 60 yards a game, that's all they need him to do. That's it.
Yes, and
Because then
no.
you have to respect the run, and their receivers will be able to get open.
It's gonna be my big story is Eli Manning to me has always been one of those quarterbacks that doesn't know what to do when he has that many weapons, and I'd be interested to see what he's gonna do because he's got two egotistical star-studded crybabies on his team that are gonna complain if they don't get 5+ targets a game, and you have upcoming Shepard. The new tight end you've drafted, that you're trying to mold, Will Tye, who has proven he can be the number one on that team, but nobody looks at him, and running backs that can kind of receive the ball, plus other receivers to look at. So it should be interesting to see, how that's going to progress.
I just wanted to, I'm sorry, can I interrupt?
Oh, you did anyway, so.
Well, I'm sorry. I just wanted to comment for the listeners. J Mart mentioned he shops at Lowe's. Arthur Blank, the owner of the Falcons, is also the owner of Home Depot. So I just wanted to, show where his loyalties lie. Just, for those who didn't know.
I shop at Ace Hardware.
I respect both.
Shop local, buy local.
I like that.
Arthur Blank.
Well,
my goodness.
And there it is.
I'll tell
I
you
was
what,
waiting to see when it would happen.
I shop at Harbor Freight.
A big
Riddler
thing
knows
for me
about
this
that.
year about Detroit. They did sign LeGarrette Blount, and he's going to be a big player for that team.
Agreed.
Literally.
Agreed.
Well, with that said, you have your way too early predictions. Tune in next week to hear the AFC portion of the show. It'll be really interesting to see who these two fine Steelers fan gentlemen will have some arguing to do about that division. Make sure to crack open a Miller High Life. Drink local, get drunk local. Remember to follow us on all social medias.
Pick Lowe's over Home Depot.
You can find us on Facebook at Getting Sports with Drunk. Same name on Instagram, and Twitter is GSWD_4.
That's right. Use the hashtag GSWD for everything and the hashtag We Hate Home Depot for everything.
Oh, yeah.
Until next time, I'm the Riddler.
I'm the man of many names.
I'm Kendall.
I'm Mock.
And I'm J Mart.
And before we sign off, I forgot the beer review. Now, Mock, why don't you lead us off?
You know, it's pretty well known.
Irrelevant. Kendall,
not
what do you
like
have to
this
say about the
beer.
Miller High Life?
This is probably one of the greatest beers I've ever had. It's easy to drink, it's smooth, and I'm ready to have one more.
It's
And
the
it's
it's the
gross.
champagne of beers.
That's right.
Jammer, what do you have to say about this?
When I think of Miller High Life, I think celebration, I think champagne, I think, wow, what a time I just had.
Excellent.
Quoting
So-
the biggest boy band of all time.
Oh, Jesus.
It's larger than life.
Excellent.
We should sign off now.
Excellent. Remember to look out for your Soulsy t-shirts, and we'll see you next week. Stay drunk.